Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Imagine you're in the Chatra district. It's a dusty, rural region in northeastern India, and the year is 2015. Now, the locals here are totally used to seeing huge herds of migrating elephants. It's an everyday thing for them. But on this particular day, a truly bizarre and incredibly tense event starts to unfold right in the mud, bringing an entire village to a complete standstill. We're going to look at a real mystery today, one that started with a whole lot of fear and confusion, but ended up revealing something absolutely profound about animal emotion. And that brings us to the central question we really need to unravel. You see, a massive herd of about 60 elephants had just been traveling through the area. And if you know anything about elephants, you know they are deeply, fundamentally social creatures. The females literally live in this tight-knit group for their entire lives, raising their young together, mourning together, moving together. So when these villagers spotted a single female elephant completely alone, just aggressively shoving her trunk into a muddy ditch, it was majorly alarming. Why in the world would she abandon the safety of her 60-member family to do this?
Just think about this timeline for a second, because the dedication is unbelievable. Starting at dusk, when the rest of her herd is actually forced to move on to find food, she just stays behind. By midnight, she's still in the exact same spot, digging tirelessly in this thick, heavy mud. And by dawn, she is visibly totally exhausted. Keep in mind, elephants normally only sleep a few hours a day and spend the rest of their time foraging. She was pulling off a grueling physical workout for 11 straight hours. She was occasionally stumbling back, sure, but she was absolutely refusing to quit. Meanwhile, the villagers are watching all of this, basically paralyzed by this mix of intense curiosity and genuine fear. Finally, a villager named Jitendra Tiwari decided he couldn't just stand by anymore. He creeps forward, balancing super carefully on his toes, just trying to get a glimpse of whatever is in that hole. But as he got close, this massive animal snapped at him. She let out this incredibly loud noise to drive him away. As Jitendra noted, she had what he called an angry but terrified expression. I mean, you're dealing with the largest land mammal on Earth here. She's highly agitated and fiercely guarding whatever is buried in that mud. It was incredibly dangerous. And this right here brilliantly illustrates the massive gap between what we sometimes see on the surface and what's actually happening underneath. The villagers were understandably terrified. They thought they were dealing with a rogue, erratic, and highly dangerous animal that could charge them at literally any second. But in reality, this mother wasn't having some random breakdown. She was acting out of frantic, pure, desperate maternal love. So the absolutely crucial point for the villagers became, how do we safely intervene? And the key to that lies in one simple, kind of staggering biological fact: 300. An adult elephant needs to consume up to 300 pounds of food in a single day just to survive. Now remember, this mother had been fiercely digging from dusk all the way to dawn. She's burning massive amounts of energy, and she hasn't taken a single bite of food. The villagers realized that if they could somehow exploit her extreme hunger, they might just be able to get close enough to see what she was so desperately digging for. So they hold a quick brainstorming session and come up with this brilliant, totally nonviolent strategy. Step 1, bring in trucks loaded to the absolute brim with bananas and other delicious elephant treats. Step 2, park those trucks nearby and just wait for her sheer physical exhaustion and starvation to finally lure her away from the ditch. And Step 3, the very second she leaves, calmly and quickly inspect that hole without startling her. The moment of truth had finally arrived. Looking a bit like a boxer recovering from a knockout, the mother finally stands up, notices the food, and slowly walks over toward those banana trucks. Jitendra and a few others practically tiptoe over to the ditch, only to make a truly heartbreaking discovery. Down at the bottom of this muddy well, her baby calf was hopelessly stuck. The mother hadn't been fighting the villagers at all. She had been fighting the earth itself to save her baby. But here is where the story gets incredibly tense. As the villagers are assessing the hole, they realize there's a really tragic irony happening here. The mother elephant was using her back legs to brace herself while she was digging with her trunk. But because of her immense size and strength, she was inadvertently kicking all that displaced sand and mud right back down into the hole. Her frantic, loving attempts to free her calf were actually threatening to suffocate the baby beneath a mountain of heavy mud. It instantly became a frantic race against the clock. I mean, the villagers couldn't just reach down and lift a heavy baby elephant out of a hole themselves, so they had to execute a wildly risky rescue plan on the fly.
While the mother was eating just a short distance away, they jumped into action. They rapidly cleared away that massive heap of suffocating sand she had accidentally deposited near the edge. They completely leveled the ground out perfectly, and then immediately retreated to safety before the mother returned.
With that dangerous sand pile gone, the villagers moved the banana trucks away. The mother immediately rushed right back to her baby, but this time, because she was standing on nice level ground, no extra mud fell in. With a few powerful, heavy heaves, she wrapped her trunk around her mud-splattered baby and finally dragged it up to safety. Villagers reported watching the mother and calf walk away to rejoin their herd with their trunks entwined. It was just a beautiful, triumphant moment, basically the elephant equivalent of a kiss, showing deep gratitude.
Section 2. Beyond the Mud, another incredible rescue. Let's move on and see how this actually builds into our broader understanding of these magnificent creatures. Because this incredible display of animal emotion and cross-species teamwork, it is not an isolated event. To really grasp this, we're going to look at another remarkable rescue that occurred a couple of years later, far away from the dusty villages of India. 9. In July of 2017, off the coast of Sri Lanka, naval officers were out conducting some routine practice drills in the deep ocean. Suddenly, they spot this bizarre, massive shape struggling just beneath the surface. They steer their vessel closer and are utterly stunned. It was an elephant, swimming for its life in these rough waves, an unbelievable 9 miles out in the open ocean. Now, biologists know that elephants actually love water. They sometimes use their trunks like little periscopes or snorkels, looking almost like a cartoon character, to cross short stretches of water. But this pachyderm had been swept away by a powerful oceanic current. The naval crew had to immediately initiate a harrowing rescue. They approached really cautiously so as not to spook it. In fact, one diver literally risked his own life, jumping into the treacherous, thrashing water to secure ropes around the frantic animal. From there, the ship slowly towed the giant back to shallow waters and safely handed it over to the Department of Wildlife.
This quote from the Department of Wildlife perfectly sums up the reality of what happened out there. They noted that elephants burn massive amounts of energy and simply cannot keep swimming forever in deep currents. Plus, the salt water is actually terrible for their skin. While they are powerful, they are certainly not invincible. As the quote says, the situation absolutely warranted human intervention. Without those sailors stepping in, that elephant would have almost certainly drowned from sheer exhaustion.
Which brings us to a really powerful thought to end on today. In both of these stories, whether it's a mother enduring an 11-hour frantic dig to save her calf, or a giant accepting the help of human divers 9 miles out at sea, we see profound intelligence and incredible vulnerability. If an animal is capable of such relentless maternal love and such amazing cross-species trust in moments of total desperation, what else are we underestimating about the emotional lives of the animals we share this planet with? It certainly makes you view the natural world in a completely different and much more empathetic light.